Joe Biden teetered out in front of the world Thursday night to deliver the latest State of the Union address in American history. Yes, it's never been done this late in the year. Only the second time it's ever occurred in March. By the way, the first time was also feeble Joe Biden. We've been discussing for days what Biden would focus on. I mean, there isn't much that Americans are buying about his time in office. The border is wide open. The brutal murder of Lake and Riley has put a face on that crisis. It's become the number one issue for Americans all across the country. The failure of his efforts on the economy are also top of mind for millions of Americans who see the cost of everything blowing through the roof. Gas, milk, eggs, everything. Plus rent and mortgage on top of that, soaring under the banner of Bidenomics. By the way, Bidenomics, a word that's apparently turned toxic and was missing completely. Didn't get mentioned one time during the big speech. Not once did you hear Bidenomics. I mean, we knew there was nothing they could point to, so I told you they would be gaslighting at an Olympic rate, which, by the way, is about the only thing Joe Biden can do at that level, except last night, boy, was he jacked up. He might have been able to do a few push-ups, unless you consider the Olympic level of turning the Biden name into cash. That's quite a sport in the family anyway. This is how House Democrat Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries summed up the screed last night. This is the kind of thing you're going to hear from all the left-wing media channels and websites that are frankly dishonest. And remember, this is a real quote. This is what he said. Listen.
Smoking Joe Biden was on fire during the State of the Union address. He was lit, delivered a compelling vision for the American people.
Yeah, hello, kids. Smoking Joe. He was smoking something this evening. He was lit, all right. But if you don't follow the lingo, that just means that Joe Biden gave a fiery and passionate speech, according to the Democrats. To me, it looked like they gave him a bit too much B12 and whatever else is in that cocktail. I mean, you wouldn't think that if you watched it, but Democrats are banking on the fact that most people don't see these sorts of things. And then the media went right along with that narrative. Of course they did. The Washington Post ran with this headline: Fiery Biden takes on GOP, makes case for second term. In fact, it was embarrassing. It was more like a campaign rally. ABC News put it this way, posting on X: President Biden delivered a fiery and forceful State of the Union address Thursday under what may have been the brightest spotlight of the year so far, just as he gears up for a general election against Trump. Huh? It's almost like they get these talking points from, some central place. Weird, isn't it? More examples as well from AP and Reuters, both of which use that adjective fiery, which would translate into, wow, Joe, you're talking at 100 miles an hour. What the hell are you on? They used that to describe President Joe Biden's speech, fiery. But look, we knew the media wasn't going to be entirely honest about Biden's State of the Union address, obviously. And we knew that old Joe was going to be lying about, well, everything. I was right even more than I realized when you hear things like this. Roll it.
About the 2020 election and the plots to steal the election posed a gravest threat to U.S. democracy since the Civil War. But they failed. America stood. The threat to democracy must be defended. My predecessor and some of you here seek to bury the truth about January 6th. I will not do that. This is the moment to speak the truth and to bury the lies. Here's the simple truth. You can't love your country only when you win.
Remember now, just for a moment here, these are the same folks that tell you that when Donald Trump says we need to figure out what happened in 2020, we need to look at what happened and why the election is not trusted by millions of Americans. And he gets accused of, you can't look at the past, election denier, but they keep looking backwards to January the 6th, and that's perfectly okay because they claim January 6th almost overthrew your government. The Democrats need you to believe that.